The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998.
All right, Andy, senior intern. I've heard that David Hero's really trying to get this tape aired of my match at Blizzard Brawl.
I mean, he's talking to Mr. Fix.
Well,
the Fixer.
I've also talked to Mr. Fix. Let me say this. You are the only one that knows the combination, you and me. You know the combination of the vault where the tape is. Don't let David Hero manipulate you into showing that footage, okay? I know you put the show together and you're the one that gets it out there. I need your promise. I need your commitment as my employee that you will not let that footage air. Thank you very much. Thank you. Again, we're on the same page here. The footage does not air. Does not happen. By the way, if it, for some reason were to air, it would be your job.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, Prime Time here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius and Tiberius, the alleged one-time Backyard Divas Knockouts Hardcore Hall of Famer, Hero.
Absolutely.
And thank you for joining us here on this Saturday night, Christmas Eve, David Hero. And we're going to talk about this past Sunday's WWE.
Do I get time and a half for this?
No. We're going to talk about this past Sunday's WWE TLC on pay-per-view, which ended up being a very newsworthy pay-per-view where a brand new World Heavyweight Champion was crowned twice at TLC in Baltimore. Firstly, the Big Show defeating Mark Henry in just under 10 minutes. And then, after Mark Henry beat down the Big Show, a beatdown from Mark Henry caused Daniel Bryan to cash in that Money in the Bank briefcase and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Daniel Bryan has the World Heavyweight Championship in WWE. And David Hero, we talked extensively about this on this past Monday's radio show. Controversial to say the least, but Daniel Bryan has ascended the ranks of WWE and become champion. It's a significant moment.
Who would have thought Daniel Bryan Danielson could become the WWE, or no, just the world champion?
The World Heavyweight
the best
Champion
in the world right now.
That belt is still less significant than the WWE Championship, but
it may be, but wow. I mean, congratulations to Daniel Bryan. I mean, what a rise. I mean, from the guy who was paired off with The Miz on NXT, verbally beat down week after week by Michael Cole, gets fired for choking out John Cena with a tie, I believe. Right?
Choking out Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts. Justin Roberts spits in John Cena's face, gets fired, brings him back at SummerSlam a year and a half ago, and he's now the world champion. That is quite the... Who would have thought?
Well, you come here for the news, and let's share with you some of the reasoning as to why this all happened, though. Mark Henry's got a groin pull. He's injured.
A groin pull could knock out the world's strongest man?
That was the reason for the shortness of the matchup, the reason for the cash-in. Now, that's not taking anything away from Daniel Bryan being the World Heavyweight Champion, but it seems as if the plans were for Mark Henry to hold on to that championship all the way through WrestleMania, but those plans have been derailed as Mark Henry is sidelined with a legitimate injury.
Which they could have kept it on him and just got through the pay-per-view and have him do tags and vignettes through the Royal Rumble, but obviously Daniel Bryan, he was the sexy pick from Vinnie Mac and the creative people in that office, and wow, who would have thought you'd have two world champions from Ring of Honor Wrestling?
And that is really the significance of that. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. But the other big title change at WWE TLC this past Sunday night on pay-per-view was a brand new United States champion in Zack Ryder. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. Zack Ryder is the new United States champion. David Hero, a lot of people out there have been wanting this for a very long time. And really, if you look back over the last month or two, this has been a great build to this matchup between Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder. It was a great matchup, and Zack Ryder ultimately getting the win. It was almost classic wrestling storytelling.
The fans got exactly what they wanted, and I will say this: Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler had a fantastic match. May have been best match of the night. I mean, a lot of near falls and just nonstop action. And boy, I can't believe how popular he was. The crowd was going nuts when he won. The woo-woo-woos was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be an interesting next few weeks in WWE television because, as you said, David Hero, look at your champions right now. You've got CM Punk on the WWE Championship side, Daniel Bryan over on the World Championship side, the United States champion is Zack Ryder, a championship that has become much more significant as a direct result of Dolph Ziggler, I believe. The Intercontinental champion is the endorsed Cody Rhodes. The tag team champions Air Boom, the Divas champion Beth Phoenix.
It's a young group of champions right now.
A very young group of champions.
Unproven and young.
One topic of discussion that we talked about on this past Monday's radio show was, do they look like champions? And a lot of people agreed and a lot of people disagreed with the question, which was simply a question as to whether or not they look like champions. And one would say that this is the new era of WWE superstars. We talked about that four-way matchup on Raw a couple of weeks ago featuring many of those same talents and how it was almost like an introduction to the new breed in World Wrestling Entertainment. Now, it is incumbent upon all of them to show all of you and all of us how great they can and will be. This could be an interesting ride for the next few months in World Wrestling Entertainment. And TLC was the springboard for that. Let's see what happens come the Royal Rumble on January 29th. There's a lot more discussion on World Wrestling Entertainment, including that Ring of Honor connection that David Hero talked about. And this was a Cena-free pay-per-view. Discussion on that in our 5 Minutes More segment, which is available on the online version of the Pro Wrestling Report. So, David Hero, that's this week's top story. Now it's time to find out who you selected as this week's Star of the Week. Let's go now to Star of the Week.
Once again, it's time for this week's PWR Star of the Week. And I know, I really should be going with my girl, Alicia Foxy, the one that beat Beth Phoenix on Monday Night Raw. But how can I ignore the passion, the love, the fan following, the charisma of your new United States heavyweight champion, the Long Island Iced Z himself, Zack Ryder. Woo, 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 you knew it. Finally gets his destiny, much like Alberto Del Rio, defeats Dolph Ziggler at TLC to become your new U.S. heavyweight champion. This week's PWR Star of the Week, Zack Ryder.
Still to come here on the Pro Wrestling Report, we're going to go back in time with the History Book segment and look at WWE's In Your House 1997, December of 1997, which was the launch of the Attitude Era in WWE. All that and so much more still to come right here on the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time.
Now, see, this is perfect because he took the phone, but now when it comes down, he won't see it because he's going to think the mic is still up there. Yeah. So the phone's going to ring. I can talk to Paul. Fantastic. This is going to be, he's going to be so pissed. It's going to be great.
Am I going to get fired for this?
No, you'll be fine.
I don't want to get fired.
No, it'll be cool. It'll be good. It'll be perfect. Oh, this is going to be fantastic.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Where are the toys? Here's what I'm thinking about New Year's Eve at the Horny Goat. It's the biggest tent. I think all of Milwaukee can fit in there. And it's also probably going to be the largest New Year's Eve party in the city.
It's an unbelievable entertainment venue.
2 words, giant TV. It's the best value you'll get. All the beer you can drink, open bar, whatever you want. It's like summer in there and I may not wear pants, for comfort's sake.
This is Impact Wrestling star, my dude, Robbie E. And bro, you are watching the Pro Wrestling Report on My 24 Milwaukee. Oh!
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson and David Hero here with you on Christmas Eve. You got big plans for Christmas, David?
Absolutely. It's Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
Well, it's Christmas.
And it's time to talk about TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling.
Impact
and,
Wrestling.
Impact Wrestling from this past Thursday night. David Hero saw some more advancement in that tag team tournament, including Eric Young teaming with old girl, ODB.
ODB.
And winning after Shannon Moore walks out on Anarchia.
What a great tag team. ODB and Showtime Eric Young.
Why do I feel like we've seen that before?
Have we?
It feels like we have.
You know what? Two of the most entertaining characters in Impact Wrestling, finally a tag team, and you know what? They could be my pick to win it all.
Really?
Absolutely.
Eric Young, tremendous. ODB, tremendous. We'll see where it goes as far as them being a tag team, but it is unique, and it continues Eric Young's unorthodox character going forward in TNA Wrestling. And let's not forget, Eric Young, one of the most popular stars in TNA, especially if you've been to a live event or an Impact taping, you will hear that for yourself. It's going to be a good ride for the former television champion, Eric Young. It was the second match of 3 matches between Tony Ness and Zema Iron. And David Hero, I gotta say, I'm impressed with this Zema Iron.
He's got a great look. He's a young kid.
Last week on Impact Wrestling, 2 weeks ago rather, on Impact Wrestling, he was given a lot of time to introduce himself, put himself over, and then a backstage interview afterwards. It seems like the TNA could be behind this. Are you kidding me?
Well, you took my phone away last week.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be ringing. Gosh, we're on TV. What are you doing? Give me a break.
Hello? Paul, listen. I know Mr. Creative Control does not want to air the footage of his match with Kevin Thorne.
It will never air.
But it's Christmas. You can override this whole thing. It's all about the love and Christmas spirit.
We're rolling.
God bless everybody.
Look.
You promise?
No, it's not going to air. I spoke to you saw that earlier.
All right.
At a pre-production meeting.
Paul, you are the man. I appreciate it.
Really?
Right, thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Who do you look?
I know people that know people. Listen, why can't you just quit being a Grinch, quit being a Scrooge, give the audience.
The footage of my match with Kevin Thorne will not be broadcast on this
I just
program.
talked to Paul Fix. He's the guy that calls the shots here.
I was humiliated. Why is it that you talk about it being the spirit of the holidays,
Yes.
why is it that you want my humiliation to be shown
Because
to
it's
thousands
what
of people?
millions of people want to see.
And now we're
talking TNA.
You're going to get in trouble because now we're supposed to be talking TNA and we're not.
Oh, yeah.
You know how that goes.
Yeah, I know.
Sting teamed with Jeff Hardy, and they won a street fight over Bobby Roode and Bully Ray. Sting back in the ring for the first time, I think, since Bound for Glory.
Teaming with Jeff Hardy, the guy who he had the big debacle with. That's trust. Seriously. See, if Sting and Jeff Hardy can get along, why can't you and I?
Oh, I don't wear face paint.
Well, you could.
Last
I've seen
week
some of your hats.
on Impact, and we saw, or didn't hear much about it this past week, but it was the firing of not only Jeff Jarrett, but Karen Jarrett as well. And again, as we pull back the curtain a little bit, Jeff Jarrett over in India working on TNA's new India project. And for those of you that don't know about that, it's really not TNA's project, aside from the fact that most of the talent's coming from TNA.
It's Jeff Jarrett's project.
It's Jeff Jarrett's project. It's 52 weeks of television in India, and it is called, at least the English translation of it, is called King of the Ring. Names like Matt Morgan, several others over there.
The Davaris are over there.
Working on that
Magnus.
project, so that explains Jeff Jarrett's departure. Now you got to imagine
Chris
that
Masters
his wife,
is over there.
You got to. Oh, he's wrestling again.
Oh, it's over there, India.
He tucked his tail between his legs.
Yes.
You got to imagine that Jeff Jarrett's wife, Karen Jarrett, is going to be over there with him.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, they're a team, a power couple.
And David Hero, you had some things you wanted to say about TNA Impact Wrestling, and I think we're going to hear that in 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
Which again is available online from the Pro Wrestling Report. We have so much it doesn't fit into the 30 minutes we have here on My 24, so we give you more at our website, pwrshow.com, and we will talk a lot more about TNA when you come to our website at PWR. See, you got me all Disheveled. You got
what I
stuff
do.
hanging for air, and that microphone went away. Now you got the phone. It's just ridiculous. And Zack Ryder's your star of the week.
Zack, woo, woo, woo.
I'm not sure I knew that. Let's move on in now, though, to World Wrestling Entertainment news. And as we talk about WWE, I think one of the big things on Raw was Kane getting more involved with John Cena and leaving John Cena in a bit of a heap.
1 second. Just keep talking. It'll be fine.
Leaving John Cena in a bit of a heap and taking off the Rise Above Hate shirt, which I thought he was going to set on fire, but he didn't do that. What are you doing?
You know, Santa Claus, I think he brought this for you because God knows I would never get a stocking quite like this. It was left at my house.
Shouldn't that be hanging on a
No, I'm convinced.
mantle?
Merry Christmas. There's a few things in there I think you would enjoy.
You got me gifts?
Well, Santa Claus dropped the stuff off.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is this?
Oh, that's a Barbie? Oh, this is definitely a stock for you. What else is in there? It was pretty heavy.
Why? This doesn't even have my name on it. This is not for me. What is this?
Whoa, that's a lightsaber. You like Star Wars, don't you?
I'm a Star Trek kind of guy. Rudolph?
How about
What do you
that?
think I am? Booker T? Singing to Cody Rhodes?
How about that? That's pretty.
It's got a
sweet.
little candy in it. This
Yeah.
is very nice of you.
Yeah.
I could almost, forget that. Don't think that because you got me gifts, that footage is going to air because it's not.
You know what? It's about the Christmas spirit.
What? Hey, look
You
at
know what?
this.
And I knew you needed a new hat to
Awesome.
wear.
Be Miz. Yes, indeed. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
See, it's all
That
about
is
the holiday
fantastic.
spirit. I
Nobody
think.
needs this stuff.
Well, you might like the lightsaber for later.
I don't fight. Look at me. Thank you, David. That's nice. So, as we continue to talk about WWE news, it's Christmas, you know.
It is Christmas. It's all
I didn't
about-
get you anything, just I don't.
That's
I don't
fine. I know that
do gifts.
I know you don't celebrate Christmas.
Kane gets the best of Cena. I thought Kane was going to go ahead and set that shirt on fire, though, when he ripped it off of John Cena, but he didn't. This Kane-Cena thing could be intriguing going forward.
You know, they can't let the two guys have a match yet. They got to wait till closer to the Rumble. They got to keep them apart because you know Cena in the end is going to get the best of him to begin with.
Really? You think so?
Well, in the end, he will get the best.
Some
of
say
him.
we're still on our way to that John Cena heel turn, the
Well,
official heel turn.
absolutely, it's
Because
gonna
you
get
say he's
there.
already a heel.
Well, he's slowly getting there. I mean, now they're selling Cena Sucks T-shirts at live events.
And at WWEshop.com.
Absolutely. So it's coming. It's just like when they did the Die Rocky Die and the Rocky Sucks T-shirts. And then what happens? He became a heel.
Alicia Fox defeats Beth Phoenix
That
in
was
a
my
squash.
Yes, that was fantastic.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. Beth Phoenix is the Divas champion.
But Alicia Fox is the diva of divas. That was one heck of a move she did there. Even busted her face open.
It was sloppy at best.
Oh, like Rob Van Dam doesn't miss a kick once in a while?
Well, he's loved.
Yeah. Well, Alicia Fox is loved too.
Kevin Nash, we found out as a result of that matchup from the TLC pay-per-view, is going to be out for up to 6 to 8 weeks. Kevin Nash and Triple H in a sledgehammer ladder match this past Sunday on pay-per-view. It took its toll on Big Sexy.
Big Sexy, I'm guessing he'll be out closer to 8 weeks. I mean, that was a 7-foot giant falling from a ladder through a table. Come on, when has that ever happened?
What's next for Kevin Nash? What's next for Triple H? Because that seemingly was the final step in their journey in their first match and their last match at TLC.
Well, it's obviously the Royal Rumble, but look at Triple H. He has got to be the MVP right now of this company. Comes back, beats CM Punk, beats Kevin Nash, decisive wins in both matches. He's on his way to Royal Rumble. He could be the guy
to win the Rumble?
That could win the Rumble. Why not?
The opening of Raw this past Monday night saw CM Punk introducing both Zack Ryder, David Hero's Star of the Week, and Daniel Bryan, the new champions, and they're standing in the ring in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania,
of course,
conveniently,
yes,
to give each other accolades, I guess, and talk about their journeys and the fact that they're champions. And David Hero, while we talked extensively about the perception, or at least my and your perception of those three standing in the ring, it was a hot segment to open up Raw with, and the fans in Philadelphia were very pleased to see those three men.
Of course, and that translates well across the TV screen into everybody's home, which then establishes them as the big babyface stars.
We're going to take a timeout. We're going to talk more about that and WWE Smackdown from just last night. This is the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time on My 24 Milwaukee.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
We're the toys. Here's what I'm thinking about New Year's Eve at the Horny Goat. It's the biggest tent. I think all of Milwaukee can fit in there. And it's also probably going to be the largest New Year's Eve party in the city.
It's an unbelievable entertainment venue.
2 words, giant TV. It's the best value you'll get. All the beer you can drink, open bar, whatever you want. It's like summer in there and I may not wear pants, for comfort's sake.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Anderson, and you are watching Damian Nelson and my super friend David Hero on Milwaukee's My 24. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson and David Hero. We're talking about World Wrestling Entertainment. And SmackDown last night saw some surprising wins for some people, including Zack Ryder defeating Cody Rhodes, the United States champion versus the Intercontinental champion.
He's one of the hottest stars on TV right now.
Cody Rhodes is, which is why it's surprising. You know, it took Booker T singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
No, Cody the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It was Cody. You know, I thought Booker T was done. I thought he was one and done, coming in, does the job, puts over Cody Rhodes, and leaves. I bet you there's one more match left. Booker T is not going to have his last match losing to the son of a plumber.
Great, then he'll just lose again next time.
I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Cody has owned Booker T. Booker T should have won that match at TLC. As a result of Cody owning him leading up to TLC. The writing's on the wall. Cody Rhodes, future world champion in WWE.
I think the writing's on the wall for Sheamus. What a stud he was.
Sheamus defeated The Miz, who put out an open challenge to Teddy Long.
Nice job of getting the SmackDown star Sheamus over on a big-time Raw star.
On a what?
A big-time Raw star.
Who?
Miz.
Wow, those words just... Listen, to what's happening here?
Well,
Zack Ryder's your star of the week after you've been burying him for weeks, depending on who you ask. Mm-hmm. And now you say The Miz is a big-time Raw star?
He is a big-time Raw star. He's a super fan.
Coming around the corner, folks. Coming around the corner.
Or the mountain, whichever comes first.
World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan teamed up with The Big Show, whoa, to take on Dolph Ziggler.
You know
and
Big
Jack
Show's
Swagger.
going to turn on Daniel Bryan.
Isn't it obvious? Wasn't it obvious on Monday night on Raw when Josh Matthews did that interview?
Then they can have the David and Goliath match. Yeah.
Maybe that's what Daniel Bryan needs. Maybe that's his validation in that matchup.
To make Big Show tap, absolutely.
God.
Can you imagine that?
I can't, actually.
Well, it's going to happen.
Really?
Sure.
Daniel Bryan's going to make Big Show tap out. You're saying that. You're making that gospel right here, right now.
I'm not making anything gospel, even though it is Christmas Eve. I'll say there's a possibility of it.
Wow.
If Big Show wants to advance that character, he says, you know what? Let me help this kid get over.
Really?
Sure. Why not?
Fascinating.
It's wrestling.
That's this week's WWE report. And coming up next, it's the history book, where we go back to the year 1997.
We got to get the match in here yet, too. Your Thorn debacle.
It's not airing.
Paul said it'll be fine.
No, it's not airing. Your little phone's gone, too, by the way. I happened during the commercial break. Let's go on over to the history book. Well, David Hero, it's time for the history book this week as we go back and look into the annals of time in professional wrestling. And let's go back to 1997. It was the December In Your House event. It was In Your House D-Generation X, coming 1 month after the Montreal Screwjob of the Survivor Series.
What a mess that was.
Many view this as the launch of the Real Attitude Era in WWE.
Well, they had a great match with Shawn Michaels and Ken Shamrock. They weren't too sure what direction they're going to go in with Bret Hart leaving. So the D-Generation X pay-per-view was kind of thrown together.
Yeah, but it was thrown together nicely. It was in Springfield, Massachusetts. I remember how it had an energy to it that was pretty amazing, because you had the unorthodox D-Generation X, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and you had some matches that ultimately would bear a lot of significance and a big return. One of those matches was the crowning of the first light heavyweight champion as Taka Michinoku defeated Brian Christopher in the finals of the
Grandmaster
tournament
Sexy.
to become the first ever light heavyweight champion in WWE.
You know, originally it was supposed to be somebody else they brought in, but Taka Michinoku was just,
Michinoku.
God bless you. He was so good at what he did. He was charisma. He had the moves. He was a high flyer. Him and Brian Christopher had a great match.
They did, and what wasn't viewed as so great was a 3-round bout between Mark Merrow and Butterbean.
Yeah.
Butterball.
We don't got to talk about that at all, do we?
Which one's the turkey and which one's the boxer?
Well, the turkey in that match was Damian Nelson, and then it was against Kevin Thorne.
It will not air.
Bro, trust me, it's going to be just fine.
No,
Merry
you
Christmas.
gave me earlier, absolutely not.
Perfect. See, this is why I knew this was going to happen. And on behalf of PWR Show, Great Lakes Championship Wrestling, and BlizzardBrawl.com, I want to give you the Christmas present of a lifetime. Now that he's gone, Paul Fix, Andy, do me a big favor. Please roll that tape from Blizzard Brawl 7, Kevin Thorne and Damian Nelson.
If you want to issue full Nelson challenge, whatever else it is, and you claim to be so powerful, please, Mr. Referee, get a chair and put it in this ring right